welcome everyone to Chrissy's Trading Desk. On today's episode, I'm going to just talk through my lessons learned. And I just want to preface this video and all of my other videos as well with the fact that I'm new to all this. I'm just recording my journey. I am by no means claiming to be a professional or that I've been trading for years. I literally have only completed on Charles Schwab, like, I don't know, 8 real trades, and half of them I held. I only completed like 2, because during one of these lessons learned, I'll tell you exactly what happened. But I am not here to tell you how to trade or that I have some secret strategy. Literally, I have no idea. I need to look today if I'm in the red or not. Like, I've not even been looking over the weekends and stuff like that. I'm gonna go really, really slow with this process. I'm not trading a ton of money at first. I have about $600 in my account. I know that people could think that trading is extremely foolish, but I'm really trying to learn the skill first. I should really do paper trading more too. But as of right now, I'm good. I've not lost any money. I have earned money, not as much as I initially thought. I commented on another channel about how much money I earned. I can't even tell you how much. I have to go in and like look at all my figures, but I didn't earn as much money as I originally thought. But nonetheless, I did earn money on the 2 trades that I did. Although even the second one, I think I only earned like 50 cents. It was terrible on the second one. So that is still a gain though in my book. I was in a situation where I felt like I needed to go in and trade more to attempt to earn more money or anything of this nature. So I was proud of myself for that. So this is just a video log, nothing that I'm claiming that I want you to follow me to do or anything like this. If you want to watch this journey, please subscribe. I do like to do hypnosis tapes and subconscious programming, things of this nature. I enjoy doing this. I do believe that it works. I am halfway through my hypnosis certification from INLP. I've made lots of other videos on my other channel in regards to hypnosis. I am really big into ASMR and mixing these elements together and using visualization to be able to execute skills of this nature. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this and hopefully continuing to trade. And that's another reason I'm starting this channel. It's starting some accountability for me. It allows me to have some sort of vlog or journal regarding what I'm doing. So let's jump right into the lessons learned. I don't want to take up too much time. One thing I learned last week was with these penny stocks, some of them can charge commissions. I definitely purchased one and it ended up charging me a commission. It was like $6 or something. So I learned my lesson on that. So that's nothing that anybody ever generally talks about. You have to dig deep into a lot of these videos to get these small little nuggets of information. And then there's other stocks that you just can't straight up trade at first. You have to call them and they have to broker it for you, or you have to get them to like remove something from your account. I've not done that yet. I might even get another. I have signed up for other brokers and I might try trading on them, other platforms instead as well to have other backups. But this one specifically, you can't just trade anything you want. This thing will pop up and it will say you have to call your broker or you have to speak to chat. And I just have not done that yet. Like that just sounds like a lot to me. So I've steered away from them, and I think it's because, and another like lesson learned here is that the stocks I think that move very quickly in nature, especially over like 20% at a time, they are considered volatile, especially if they are low in price. You can potentially buy a lot of them and lose a lot of money at the same time. So they don't want you just going in and trading all of these like insane volatile stocks, which I totally understand. And for right now, it's a great safeguard for me. but that's something that I kind of had to learn the hard way. And even now, I'm kind of not still understanding how to weed through those to always click on them, but I know I'll get there. And just really always trying to observe all the charts I'm looking at from this perspective of that it's a pattern. I'm attempting to recognize the pattern, and not that I'm going to predict, and we'll talk about this later, but try to make my best guess, if you will, at if this will start to run the way that I think it should according to the patterns that I'm noticing, right? And if I'm jumping in on these penny stocks or these stocks that are like a dollar or a dollar and change, what am I jumping in at and how much could I potentially earn at these different prices? And that kind of gets us into the strategy of all this. You can't instantly sell at the price that you see. That's something I learned too, and that's something nobody ever talks about. I feel like you can't just go in and bid and then think you're going to buy the stock and then sell it immediately later for like a couple of cents more. It doesn't always work like that. It was like forbidding me on certain trades where, remember, I told you I made like 50 cents. It was ridiculous. I think it prevents you from doing that. So you do have to sell at a reasonable price. You can't just go in. And I know people could be laughing at me. I'm extremely amateur in nature. I'm learning. I'm laughing at myself at some of these things once I commit like the nonsense that I'm attempting to commit. And it was because I was attempting to do the trade while somebody had, interrupted me or something like this. So, like, when that happens, I just have to kind of like leave it alone. And that was another thing I learned as well, setting it so you set it at the high and the low that you want to buy and sell at. And that's really important. So, that was another lesson learned. But basically, just make sure that you're always checking how much you're buying for and how much you intend on selling for. And if that amount of money that you're intending on selling for is above that threshold, you have to make sure that you're not earning like only like a few dollars or something or 50 cents. You have to try to like make it much more worth it than that. For example, if I was only doing that in every trade, I obviously would not earn a lot of money. So they do try to stop you from doing this. So it's a good lesson learned and it makes sense as well. So another thing that I learned is that I only get 3 trades per week, I think it is, or something of this nature. But it's different probably for every brokerage, but it's a stop mechanism, I guess, to prevent you from overtrading. And I think this is for accounts that are under 25,000. Again, I only have under 1,000 in mine. I have like $600. So that would not be eligible for that 25,000 threshold where you could probably trade numerous times throughout the day. So once I get to that 25,000 threshold, I can then trade more. It does give you a warning that you will strike up some sort of, that you will drum up some potential alert that would flag your account. So I didn't want to do anything of this nature. So I was not in an attempt to overtrade or take too many trades. I did what I did and I let the other stocks that I did purchase kind of sit there. I think I have like 5 sitting there that are basically set to sell at a certain point once they reach the threshold. Next big lesson learned too is about this whole psychology of trading is it's not about prediction. It's about getting in according to your simple strategy. It sounds like what I'm hearing from everybody is that simple strategies work and you will find your own strategy for yourself. It's just like everything else in life. You find your own groove. It's not like you're just going to go and specifically copy somebody's strategy. I'm finding out that it seems like a lot of people in this community, that's what they attempt to do. And it's more so you're checking somebody's strategies out and maybe maneuvering through a few different ones to figure out which one aligns with you the most, and then attempting to trade according to that specific strategy and not trying to do like 500 different strategies because that seems like it will kill your trading game. And then you want to make sure that you're entering and getting out according to your plan. And that would be whatever amount of money you're willing to put in or lose. So that's definitely one of those things that you have to think about, and getting out and just getting out and not getting crazy thinking that you need to continue to get in or stay in because the stock continues to rise or something of this nature. It's understanding the neutrality or logistics between not getting emotionally invested in thinking something might shoot up even further, like getting out when you get out and call it a day, and just being happy with the money that you made and not thinking that you needed to stay in or having like all this regret or FOMO. Yeah, moving with your intuition, so to speak, with certain individual things, but also according to your strategy and plan. And lesson 5 for me was pattern recognition, really understanding candlesticks, that they're like psychology. It's not just like this cute decoration that's on the screen. You need to understand the candles. You need to understand what being in the green and the red means. You need to understand the way the wicks are moving, and it's definitely important to use these when you are recognizing the patterns. Again, attempting not to predict. I'm going to try not to predict because I love predicting in my normal everyday life. It's just something that the human brain wants to do. And to a certain degree, are you predicting a little bit? You are kind of like predicting that it would go up, but at the same time, if you have a pattern that you follow, it's kind of like history repeats stuff. I don't know, but the market can do crazy things though. That's another lesson that I've learned, that it doesn't matter. That's why you don't want to predict, because you could predict that things will go down or go up, and then the market will do what the market wants to do. My train of thought, I really try to hone in on these things. I try not to have too much magical thinking because I can have that type of thought process where if I'm focusing on something and I want things to go a certain way, assume that the numbers are going to fall the way I want them to fall. So it's not just assuming that's always going to happen. You can, I want to, and I will, but also being cautious and not just frivolously trading nonsense and just like going all in all the time, thinking that everything I do and say and think is going to be always correct. I'm not that foolish. I know that that's definitely a pitfall in this trading specific community, is thinking that you can get to like a god body status, because you can get to that prediction mechanism, what feels like. And that's why I think these kids are out here making like millions and millions of dollars, but at the same time, or in the same token, can lose millions and millions of dollars, because you don't want to get like that God complex and like let it go to your head and think you're just gonna like trade your ass off and get millions of dollars. There's like levels to everything, and it depends on your level of confidence and how much money you're willing to risk. And that's another huge lesson too. Understanding, even with the pattern recognition, your risk reward, how much you are risking to take that trade if it does not go your way, and how much you're willing to lose if you don't stop the trade, if you will. Another lesson here was there's lots of rules. And I know I talked about this before, the only 3 days. I think it was for rolling 5 days. I thought that's what it was. Otherwise, your account can get restricted. There's a scanner, and you have to figure out how to work the scanner and figure out what things to pick for the scanner. And there's just like different considerations with what you even want to trade. Like there's different things you can trade. You can trade futures. You can just trade stocks. I think you can trade things called options. There's like all these different things that you can trade. And it's trading or doing what feels most comfortable and aligned with yourself, and not just, I feel like, chasing what you see on the internet and dipping your toe and researching and playing with the simulators before you actually get in. And then once you kind of understand and get into the rhythm, start trading with larger amounts, and then figure out where you are the most comfortable and really just sticking with it too. That's another thing it seems to be in the community, is picking an avenue and sticking with it. And my last lesson learned here was like a pro and a con slide, because it feels like there's a lot of cons to attempting to trade, and that's why I think a lot of people don't do it. Even though there's a lot of money to be made in it, there's a lot of money to be lost, and there's a big learning curve. It feels like to me a pretty big learning curve, maybe because I'm older and I'm getting into these different things now and of activities where I'm actively openly what feels like gambling to a certain degree. I know it's not, but it feels like that. And I've never been a large gambler before. I'm just telling you the truth and how I feel. But I know it's just moving with the market and being able to recognize and see the market and move with those patterns. So it is something that can be highly scalable. There's really potential for a long term financial well being with this, and learning a skill that you would have for life. But there's again cons. It's investing a lot of money that could potentially be lost. So there's a lot of different risks in here, but there's also a lot of rewards. And for me, it's moving slowly and then allowing it all to compound. And I know one day, if I continue to pursue it, I continue to focus on it, I continue to place my awareness on it, I continue to observe all the stocks and jump in often and play as I can as often in there, be in the simulator, be in the paper trading, be in there making real trades as often as I can, and trying to not let too much of the outside world affect me, because I know there's a lot of people that don't even get crazy with the news, don't get crazy with watching a ton of strategies, don't get caught up with like a ton of trading channels to like fill their head to like make them nervous and anxious about the things going on, because that's a huge thing that's a part of this too, is the overall psychology of trading. I hope everybody enjoyed this video and you enjoyed my lessons learned on this. I hope that you learned something new, and that with this kind of like hints and tricks and tips, you learn something if you are an extremely amateur and extremely new to trading, and you can listen to all my mistakes and blunders. So, and make sure you do subscribe if you did enjoy this content. And until the next time, guys, happy trading.